the slaves from all over Angola and other parts to this port, built a heliport here for the American president. With some arts inside. With their eggs on their heads, with food and everything on their heads. They are ready for Christmas. So super cool. Pro-market, pro-capitalism, and they were supported by both the United States and South Africa. It's definitely worth to keep an eye on Angola. And welcome to Luanda, the capital of Angola. One of the many few countries that speak Portuguese as their official language, the main spoken language.
Actually, this is the largest Portuguese-speaking capital in the world because it's bigger than Brasilia, Brazil's capital, and Lisbon, Portugal's capital.
Fun fact, yeah. So I think there was like 3, 4, 5, about 6, 7 countries that speak Portuguese as their official language. Angola is one of them. You can see in the map we are in the southwest part of Africa, north of Namibia. And this video, it's another out of your comfort zone video, a little bit of traveling with a mix of geopolitics.
With a dash, we'll say.
A dash of geopolitics.
Please start doing that hand.
Yeah, a dash, like a dash of salt. Because there are a lot of interesting things here. It's becoming a very strategic country. President Biden, American president, was supposed to visit here a month ago.
Yeah, we saw his new helipad. We'll show it in the video.
Yeah, very interesting. And there's also the whole geopolitical competition with China. There's a lot of Chinese investment here. It's a huge oil producer here. We're going to talk about that as well.
And they had a civil war that ended a little more than 20 years ago, so you still see some of the marks of that.
One of those proxy wars from the Cold War between the communists and the capitalists. So we're going to talk about all of that and a few
sights to see.
Really nice capital. There's a lot of money here from diamonds and oil. So definitely worth a visit. Honestly, again, we can't be saying much about the same about the countryside, but it's the capital here. Look at this, the bay here, the walking promenade. It's really cool. So yeah, just keep you watching us and you're gonna know more about Angola.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Angomart. Communities with very nice houses. So this is part of the slavery museum here in Luanda, a little bit outside of Luanda. Luanda, like the city center is right there, here in Angola. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that soon. But also, President Biden from the United States was supposed to come here.
So they built this brand new helipad just for him.
Yeah, very nice helipad. But he couldn't come, right?
Yeah, there were a bunch of, because of the hurricanes in Florida. So his trip is delayed until the end of December is what they said. So we'll see.
So yeah, eventually Biden went to Angola. Interesting. Oh yeah, and that's why also we can't get into some of the places here in the museum because everything's secure still for the president because he might come in the future. But yeah, this is the museum here. And why we have the museum here? Because that was the port, the water is just there. That was the point, oh sorry, because of the noise, that the Portuguese used to bring, I'm sorry, the Portuguese used to bring the slaves from all over Angola and other parts to this port, and then from here distribute to the Americas, could be the United States, Brazil, and so on. And they would, you saw the little church, they would baptize, forcibly baptize the enslaved people and get them drunk, so they would be more docile for the start of the start of the trip. So quite a sad history, and so if you're coming here to Angola, Luanda, absolutely visit, and hopefully it's going to be open. Biden would have already visited. Do you remember the name of the island there, Amor? Because there is sorry, I'm so sorry, I don't remember the name. There's an island there, very fancy, cool island to visit. And also a lot of the boats that go to that island, they depart from here. So if you wanna go, it's departing from this region here. If you go to Google Maps and put Museu Nacional da Escravatura, National Slavery Museum, you're gonna find where is it. So there is really in front of the the slavery museum. This like
Artisan market, handicraft market.
yeah.
We're not sure if it's always here or just because there's some tour buses here today. Luanda doesn't get a ton of tourism, but
That's true, and so I don't know if it's very authentic. If the prices may be like tourist prices instead of local prices, but it's a good idea. The one thing that I would like to mention, you're probably asking yourself why Biden is coming to Angola, right? The American president coming to Angola, because Angola is becoming very strategic in this area of Africa. There is already a big Chinese presence here. China is investing a lot of infrastructure projects here through the Belt and Road overarching project, the New Silk Road.
which we talked about in a lot of videos. Basically,
Yeah.
anytime we're in Africa,
Or Africa or
it
Asia.
comes up a lot.
Yeah. So the United States don't want to fall behind. So they're also investing a lot here. Hello. Especially the Lubito Railroad, which is going to connect the center of Africa, in the southern part of Africa, with Luanda, with Angola here, the coast, mostly to export natural resources from the center to the middle to the coast.
Yeah, for countries that don't have a coastline.
Yes.
Or big ports, I guess.
So, for instance, connecting with the DRC. The DRC has a small coastline, but parts of it is closer to the Angolan coastline than their probably their own coastline, and other countries as well. So this Lubito Railroad, I'm going to leave a map here. It's very important strategically, geopolitically, and the United States investing a lot here with the game competition with China. So the president, the U.S. president, wants to show how important Angola is for the United States.
Especially with how much Angola is growing over the past few years.
Right, and why they're doing like a...
They have tons of oil and tons of diamonds.
Yeah, so Luanda is one of the most expensive cities in the world. It's insane.
And definitely in Africa.
And definitely in Africa, yeah. So if you're an expat here, it's a fortune. Accommodation, food, cars, everything. You have some of the local prices, like a little bit in the outskirts, but city center is quite expensive. So the United States want to be part of it, because if the United States retreats, I don't care about Angola, China is going to care about Angola.
Yeah.
And that happens all over the world. So since one of the fastest growing economies in the whole world, Angola, a lot of oil, a lot of diamonds, the United States want to be present here. Yeah. So that's how it works. If you don't keep playing, someone else is going to play and they're going to win. And with all the pros and cons of the United States, I would prefer the United States to win instead of China, between us. But I can cut this part after. So that's it. It's just a small detail why they literally built a heliport here for the American president to come here. Sorry, we just got the information. It's the island of Musulu that you can visit, and there's a passenger terminal here, which is by the slavery museum, and from there you can take boats to Musulu Island, which is very nice. Apparently, we haven't been there.
This is the rest of Luanda. Unfortunately, we've had a
So this is like the Mirador da Lua, or the moon viewpoint. It's a little bit outside of Luanda. About how far?
Ooh, I don't know. It took us with traffic and stuff, I'm not sure.
40 minutes, and it's really cool. You have a nice rock formations. The beach is right over there. There is some infrastructure here, beautiful trees, bathroom, always like a little market to buy stuff. It's a little bit hard to come. You can come, amor. It's a little bit hard to come by public transportation. You would have to take a public bus to Ramiro, which is a small town close by, and then another one here. So probably I would recommend taking getting a tour or a private taxi, a private van to come here. But yeah, it's really nice.
O Rodrigo vai virar famoso aqui em Angola.
Tá ligado?
Já show da viagem com a Land Tour.
Por enquanto, a gente está gostando muito de Luanda. Extremamente partes muito modernas da cidade, pessoal super amigável, dá para perceber que eu sou brasileiro, vocês são tão amigáveis quanto os brasileiros. Desculpa nossos irmãos e irmãs portuguesas, mas o português de Angola dá para entender melhor que o português de Portugal para um brasileiro, então estamos gostando muito. A gente teve no Museu da Escravatura, eu vimos que estava tudo preparado, que o presidente Biden ia vir para cá. Então estava tudo muito bonito, a gente gostou bastante, uma pena que a gente não pôde entrar. O Mirador da Lua, aqui fantástico. A infraestrutura, por enquanto, honestamente eu não sei como é saindo muito daqui da grande cidade de Luanda, mas perfeita, muito boa a infraestrutura, as estradas.
Rodrigo's
Então,
becoming famous in
Para
Angola.
a gente que viaja muito, o importante é sempre como as pessoas te recebem. Se recebem com um sorriso, ser bem-vindo e tudo mais. Posso dizer que muitos lugares não são assim, mas por enquanto, assim, em Angola e Luanda, está sendo 100%. Estamos gostando muito. Obrigado. Obrigado, hein? Daqui? Tudo bom? Pessoal super amigável. So this is Independence Monument to the first president of independent Angola. So he was one of the main architects of the independence from the Portuguese, which were the colonizers here in Angola. And down there, gonna show you here, that's the parliament, the main parliament. Unfortunately, none of them we can take pictures inside or close by because there's a lot of security around that area. The Iron Palace. It's right here in downtown Luanda, and apparently it was built with the material from the same guy who built the Eiffel Tower, says the legend.
His plans, they stole his plans from a boat.
Yeah, that was the idea. There was a boat with this material going to South America, and somehow they stole it going through Africa when it was passing by Africa and built it here. But today it's an artistic center with some arts inside. Be part of the solution. The art of storytelling through photography. So as you can see, there's a mix of old buildings here in Luanda, like the dilapidated, can you say the dilapidated? Dilapidated buildings, new buildings constructing, new buildings already ready.
Five-star hotel.
Five-star hotel over there. So this shows how much Luanda is growing up, Angola is growing up, with a lot of the money from diamonds, but especially oil and gas. They're growing a lot. There's a lot of money coming in. The city was quite poor, destroyed during the Civil War.
Which only ended like 20 years ago, I think 22 years ago, 2002.
Yeah, 2002. And we're gonna talk about the Civil War soon. So now it's growing up a lot, super modern, like nice events, becoming like a super capital here in Africa. That's why one of the most expensive capitals, cities in the world. And interesting about Angola, Angola was part of the OPEC, the oil cartel. But Saudi Arabia for a long time is being, which is the de facto leader of OPEC, they've been forcing all other countries to cut production to keep oil prices higher up, like just to make more money. That's the whole point of a cartel, right? You control the prices. But then Angola, they really want to produce as much as they can oil, like produce, sell, make a lot of money, and they didn't want like OPEC and Saudi Arabia telling them, "Now you just can produce this, you just can produce that," giving quotas. And then I think 6 months ago, something like that, they say, "Okay, we are leaving OPEC. We are out because we want to produce as much as we want because we're still a developing country. It's still like some parts of Angola is still pretty poor, and they want to develop those parts with the oil money. So they're out of OPEC, which is, I say, is good for everyone else. Cartels are never a good idea."
But fun fact, gasoline here, so I guess not just oil, but it costs how much? Like 30 cents per liter?
Yeah, so a good point, used to cost 10 cents per liter. So about, I don't know, 50 cents per gallon.
For the Americans.
Yeah, and was subsidized by the government, but they want to privatize the main oil company here, what's a state company. So they cut it off the subsidies, but now costs 30 cents of a dollar per liter, which is about a dollar more or less per gallon here. So it used to be about, I don't know, 40 cents, 30 cents per gallon. Now it's $1 per gallon.
Cheap for us, but obviously doubling the price for the locals. They feel it.
Tripling, like the price, whatever. Just to have an idea. It looks like Venezuela a little bit in that sense. Nikki, what are you doing over there? I miss her. We are in Luanda, Angola. Iron Palace. Angolan Diamonds Company. Nice gym here, right by the side of the cornichon, like a corniche, like the
coastal walkway.
The coast walkway. Thanks. Pretty cool. And we are going to the mall there. Not that we want to visit the mall, but I need a SIM card.
Also, we need to go pee.
It didn't pee. We peed in the. Well, and you're right. It's a good opportunity to pee for free at the mall, but I need a SIM card. So, tentando cruzar aqui. Agora vai. E a galera cruzando com o negócio na cabeça, com um ovo na cabeça. Fala sério. Nikki, come. We did it. But the most amazing is like how people cross with their eggs on their heads, with food and everything on their heads, balancing. That's crazy. Are those bullet holes? Because I heard there were bullet holes in some old buildings here. So in Luanda, crazy. We are in a shopping mall here. I needed like a SIM card. One, I never seen this car before. Maybe it's a Chinese car. But no, I'm going down. Sorry, amor. But also. Boa tarde. Boa tarde. But also, it's really cool shopping mall. Really nice. They are ready for Christmas. So super cool. Shopping Fortaleza. Here, pretty close to the water here in Luanda. Very nice. Boa tarde. Super cool. Just to help everyone, this is the shopping Fortaleza. If you need some things like more international things, cell phone and stuff. And over there is the Fortaleza San Miguel that you can visit, and it's kind of nice. It has a very nice view of the bay, because if you can see, the bay is right here, the bay of Luanda. So it's really nice. As for I owe you guys talking about the civil war. So I'm gonna be very simplistic here, very simple. Not getting too much into details. In the 70s, Angola became independent from the Portuguese, and the different parties that united to get the independence. Sorry, just I'm gonna do here because of the sun. The parties that united to fight against the Portuguese, once they got empowered, as they say, to get independence or to win the first battle is the easiest one. The harder one is to form the government, is to be in peace and everything. And here, as in a lot of other countries, had the same problem. The different parties had to fight each other. There were three main parties. UNITA was one of them. They were more pro-market, pro-capitalism, and they were supported by both the United States and South Africa. And the other two were more socialists. They were supported by the Cubans and the Soviet Union at the time. So there was a war, pretty brutal civil war. 500,000 people died. There were South African troops here fighting, helping UNITA with the support of the Americans.
And it went on for several decades, almost 3 decades.
Yeah, until 2002. Only finished in 2002 the war. But the other side, there was like soldiers and advisors from Cuba and the Soviet Union fighting the other side. And the other side won, like Nikki said, but won in 2002, when already the Soviet Union had just collapsed. So the country, even if the socialist communists, let's say, had won, they didn't become, the country didn't become a socialist communist country. It became kind of a democratic-ish country, but more pro-market, like private property and so on. With a lot of, I'm not getting too much into domestic politics here. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. A lot of people know the proxy wars from the Cold War, like the Vietnam War, the Afghanistan War, the first one when the Soviets invaded Afghanistan. And this was definitely a proxy war between the United States and the Soviet Union during the Cold War, fighting each other, but in another country.
So that's all that proxy war means, basically.
Yeah, fighting by proxy, not directly, not the United States and Soviet Union fighting each other directly, but indirectly. Just like this is the big coastal walk here in Luanda. It's really nice.
But
really.
we do want to mention, just for the sake of transparency, it is Africa. So pay attention. We've had children following us. Like, we attracted quite a bit of attention. So yes, it's very nice. We're enjoying everything in Luanda. But you do
some parts of Luanda,
some parts of Luanda, plenty of parts you do not want to go to, but you definitely have to take more precautions than average.
Absolutely, yes.
And even filming now, we're keeping very, very aware of our situation to see if anyone's approaching us and such.
Yeah. So don't flash your nice cell phone. My one's not a nice cell phone. Your nice watch and gold and everything is not a good idea. So this is a monument to the unknown soldier. Both the soldiers who fought for independence from Portugal, as well as the soldiers who fought in the Civil War from both sides. And even today, it's kind of a militarized a little bit society that they have a lot of bases here in Luanda.
Right in the city itself, which is quite unusual.
Yeah, and but it became a very strong army, so much so that they sent troops, peacekeeping troops, to other African countries, such as the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. So it's for sub-Saharan African levels, it's a pretty decent armed forces. Africa, African coffee. And this is the Luanda port, and you have a little market here as well, and some nice hotel, which you find quite a lot here, but old buildings out there. So I think this is give a good completion of our video, because Luanda, Angola is that mix of modern, very rich, a lot of oil money here in Luanda, a lot of wealth, with that mix of still poverty, like classic African poverty.
Very high inequality, lots of social problems, political problems.
Still a recent civil war, it's finished in 2002. So you can see all of that while you're here.
Place of contrast.
For sure. But definitely worth a visit, and definitely worth to keep an eye on Angola, because it's going to be a country that in 5-10 years is going to change a lot.
Yeah.
It's becoming an African powerhouse. A lot of oil money, diamonds money. It has 36 million people here, big size, didn't develop much, it's still the countryside. So there's a lot going on. So keep an eye on that. Even like the President of the United States was coming here to visit. but it's still place that are worth a visit. We felt safe, but it's still, you know, African countries, big cities, there is inequality, there is some safety issues. Keep an eye on it. So if you're traveling around the southern part of Africa, Angola should be in your itinerary.
And there's a lot to see beyond Luanda.
Absolutely, a lot of resorts on the coast, surfing beaches,
There's like national parks.
safari. It's pretty cool. That's it. If you have any questions, any comments, if we said something wrong and you'd like to point out in the comments area, please leave a note and we're gonna correct. We're gonna leave a note in the video after.
Especially for our new Angolan friends who might be watching, please correct us.
Please correct us if you said something badly. Although they might watch in Portuguese or our other channel. That's it. Safe travels. E bem-vindos a Luanda, capital da. So this is the slavery museum. Mirador da Lua, Luanda, Angola.
Perdão, eu tava sorrindo porque eu achei que era foto. Tá no vídeo.
Mirador da Lua, Angola. Não, porque eu tô filmando, aí vocês ficam. Fica aí. Cadê? Eu vou filmar pra aí. So just keep following. Yeah. I don't know how to close now.